Today, we're diving into something that is equal parts hilarious and a little disconcerting. We're talking about all of the things that people say Gen Z just can't do anymore, like skills that seem to be disappearing right in front of us. And listen, I know not every sweeping stereotype is true or applies to everyone, and every single generation is shaped by the tools that they grow up with. We all lose skills. We don't need them anymore. I get that. But I cannot get over the fact that there are people walking around right now who do not own music, like at all. It's just floating around somewhere in the cloud, inside of an app, dependent on having Wi Fi and a subscription service and probably vibes. So, yes, we are going to give a little bit of a hard time to Gen Z today. There's going to be some gentle ribbing going on because some of this is just really wild and maybe also kind of smart. Either way, I thought it was super interesting.
I think we should be careful right out of the gate because it feels like one of those massive overgeneralizations that's easy to make and not be totally accurate. A lot of the stuff we're going to talk about, people not reading maps, not wanting to take phone calls, not knowing how to fix things, I don't think that's just Gen Z. I think that's everybody. I don't know many people my age who can read a map, and I definitely know a lot of people who refuse to take or make a phone call. If they have a problem with something, they'll just replace it. So I'm less interested in what Gen Z can't do and more interested in what society has just stopped needing people to do. So maybe the better question is, what skills are we actually losing and what are we replacing them with?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Growing up, I was taught to read a map. I still know my childhood phone number and several other phone numbers. If something got broke, you either fixed it or you called your dad and he did. And you talked to them on the phone. I know every generation does this. Look at that next one and think, how do they even get to work? And without GPS or working from home, this might be a bigger issue, but I'm curious. Is this really a problem or is it just a different way of doing life? And it is a little funny. Some of these things that were just commonplace being so far out of line for another generation. Welcome to Two Millennials and Mom.
I'm Callie.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Mom. So I saw an Instagram where a teacher brought in a whole stack of atlases and handed them out to his high school class and gave them like, you're here and you need to get to there. And it was hysterical. I mean, watching these kids who'd never looked at a map before, it was pretty funny. So it kind of got us talking about all of the things that are different.
Callie, when was the first geography class you took?
Fifth grade. I was memorizing states and state capitals in elementary school.
That's barely geography. That's not world geography.
Okay, in middle school, we had world geography, we had Texas history, and we had US history in each of the subsequent years.
Okay.
I
We didn't
took
have any
lots
of
of
those until high school. Like in the state of Texas, when I went through school, none of those were really mandated courses until sophomore year.
such a young little whippersnapper. I
But if
mean,
I handed you a map, you could read it, right?
yes.
I guess it
Do you
depends
know
on
which
what
way
kind
is
of map,
north?
because there are
I
lots
can
of
figure
different
it out.
kinds.
There are lots of different kinds, but let's say it's a road map.
I look at a road map every
So
day. I just look at an automated road map that tracks where I am for me.
I have a mental map. I call it my mind map, where I am looking at a physical and or digital map, but I then memorize it so that I can see it in my brain so that I know how to go and how to navigate through around to various places. My one
Not
so
in
at all how
Houston
that
many,
is
works for me.
so many times she said, this is the loop. This is where
this
we
is where
are.
we are, this is where
This,
this is, and if you take this to get over here, because I can see it all in my brain
yeah.
based on an actual map. I call it inputting data as I'm going different places. I'm not saying, okay, turn left in 200 yards. I'm looking at the bigger picture so that I can put myself in reference to all of the spots that I do know. That's
You're
north
not
of this.
recalculating. Do y'all even remember that? The first GPS would say recalculating.
Reroute.
Now they
Little
just
Garmin.
flip it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Garmin.
Tell
It's
'em.
still funny. I mean, when you stop and think about these things, like I also read an article the other day about Gen Zs are buying uh, custom watches or fancy watches, expensive watches, but they can't tell time on them. They're not wearing them for the benefit of telling time because they don't know how
That's
to
not new to
read
Gen
a
Z, though.
face. That's
Half of
true.
my generation can't read an analog clock.
What? Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, it cannot be
We
half of your generation.
well, that's half of your generation too.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it cannot be half. There's no way. I'm
And
gonna start taking a
maybe
poll.
they
Are
can
you a
now
millennial? Can
because
you
they
read a
got
clock?
those nice watches and they wanted to figure out how to make them functional. But a
Oh,
huge
no.
portion of the kids that I went to school with, we had those big analog clocks on the wall, and most people couldn't read them.
How did you know when you were getting out for recess or out for the day? I can still, to this day, if I need to calculate seconds or say, okay, it's in 10 seconds, I think of that clock that is on the wall of my school classroom and I can hear the second hand ticking.
Every room in the school that I went to had a digital clock.
Fine.
Really?
Not half of the generation. Maybe the tail end of you young little whippersnappers, but not half. I refuse to accept this. Can you
Just the
imagine? Hold on. Can you imagine, like, what other possible pieces are there that you could have on your body that you have no concept of what it is actually, like, how to actually use it, but you carry it, have it, use it without using it? You don't know how to use your phone?
I know how to use my phone, but very few people know how to use their phone to like the maximum extent.
Well, now
Sure.
you're just talking about baby boomers. Am I wrong, though? Did I lie?
I'm not talking to you anymore. So then there's this thing called vinyl records. So, I mean, I didn't call them, they were LPs. I didn't call them vinyl records when I was growing up. And we've talked about it on this podcast that, I mean, Saturday morning, my mom put a stack on the stereo that y'all don't even know what that is anymore. It was a big piece of furniture that had a turntable inside it and speakers on the side. And she would put a stack of records on. And as long as the records went, we cleaned house. And now you guys, you and that younger generation are collecting vinyl records, but it's not really for the music.
Bullshit.
Of course, it's for the music.
Yours is for the music.
No, in fact, number one, you're sitting here, you guys don't know what that is. I had one. First and foremost. Like
I have
I
one
have
at
one.
my feet right now.
Yeah, I have vinyl records at my feet, right? Not one or two or six, dozens of vinyl records. And I also have a rule that when you take the time to set up a vinyl record to listen to it, you do not pick and choose which songs you listen to. You listen to all of side A and all of side B, and then all of a sudden you discover all of this fantastic music that never plays on the radio because it wasn't a single.
That's true. That's
Trying
true.
to throw us under the bus. Girl, please. I'm just trying
Okay.
to
I'd rather
think
have
what
an
else there could
infinite
be.
playlist that will never stop. It will never run out. It will literally play continuously. And I could basically get it pretty close to the point that it would never repeat a song.
I'm just telling you, I'd still be cleaning house if that were the case with my mom.
You were waiting for the end of those records.
We were waiting for the end. Yeah. So, no. And then I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was talking about her daughter is collecting cameras.
Film cameras.
film cameras. And I said, "Oh, is she going to be a photographer?" And she said, "No, she's just collecting them. They think they're really cool,
They are cool.
but they're a tool. They have a purpose."
Sure, but lots of collectors
Like
collect tools
watches.
and don't use them. That's not new. What's a
You have a
museum?
point.
I was gonna say, we have always had a thing. We said this about cars and everything. We've always said this thing. We are not an automobile museum. Everything gets driven. Everything gets used. And maybe that is part of my, like, minimalist mentality. You don't just keep things around for prettiness. Has a purpose.
I mean, some people do.
Some
I
people
just
just
Fine.
thought it
have
was really
collections of
funny. She
things,
has
and I don't think there's anything
no,
wrong with that. And it's not new or weird.
Some people also don't know how to read a clock and or a map. Some people are weird. Oh my goodness.
I don't think
so
having a collection puts you into that category. Eclectic or eccentric, maybe.
If you don't know how it is used or what it is used for or how to use it, I think that that is weird.
What about a rock
here's the
collection?
thing. I
You
could
still you can use it as a paperweight.
I could understand
That's what they're
somebody who got
for.
interested in
Is it?
photography
Is that what
wanting.
rocks are for?
Yep.
Okay.
It's my story and I'm sticking to it.
You stick to it all you want to, sister. I'm sorry, Mom. You were saying?
Never mind. I don't even remember
S-
now.
So, at what point does something stop being a tool and start becoming a decor, a costume, a facade?
When you
I
want it
guess when you
to.
want it to be.
What
What a
about antique
crappy answer.
furniture? That's a collection.
Do you not
But
sit
it's
on it?
normally used.
Sometimes
It
you
has a
don't.
Yeah.
function.
Sure. But sometimes the art that you hang on your wall, that's just to look pretty.
It's to be enjoyed. It's sparking emotion. That's what the purpose of art is.
Maybe a typewriter as decor does the same thing for them. You don't get to
Again.
decide what other people think is art or is pleasant to look at.
That's true. That's true. You're right. I'll give you that. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, the typewriter thing makes me feel really old.
Well,
I mean, I would say my first job out of college was selling memory writer typewriters for Xerox. Every office had a typewriter, and the ribbons and the return and the sound. I mean, it was
Now we
classic.
have things that work.
Typewriters worked too.
we've
Now we
added
have
to the
things that are
efficiency.
more efficient.
They probably are more efficient. You're probably right.
But let's go take that to the next kind of level, if you will. So think about efficiency in terms of navigation. We were, as millennials, we were MapQuest kids. You looked it up on the internet, you printed out directions, so that took time. You had to be somewhere where you had internet access, access to a printer, access to the internet, know what the address was. You could probably look it up if you really needed to. It would not be as easy as it is today, but you
Yeah.
could look it up. Worst case scenario, you used the phone book, but you could find the address, put it into MapQuest, print it off, and then you have to drive down the road with this piece of paper that you're reading and navigating by.
You took a Chewy with you so they could do it for you.
A what?
A Chewy, a co-pilot.
Oh, I've never heard it called that.
So I had the kind that folded into pamphlet size. And then when you open them up, they were 3 feet by 2 feet.
You put them across the
You,
hood.
yeah. And I mean, you're right, because somebody was there to read it and go, okay, we're going to, take 75. And it wasn't like, oh, you've got 10 miles to go, because that wasn't really. The mileage was between dot to dot. That could be 2 miles, and then the next little section could be 5 miles, and the next little section could be another 5 miles. But it
Yeah, but
didn't
there
say
were road signs. And so you say, okay, I'm taking 75 to
true.
45, and you weren't staring at your phone the whole time, so you didn't miss your exit.
True. true. But I'm just thinking, could I hand somebody in that younger generation one of those maps and them have a clue what to do with it or how to
No, but
read it?
they would
Some of
have
them.
a heck of a shade.
They would what? A shade.
What am I
I mean,
supposed to
don't
do
get
with
me
this huge
wrong.
piece of paper?
I mean, there was no, hey, I'm looking for a restaurant here that serves Italian food within 3 miles of me. None of that was going on with my little paper map or my big paper map. So we've come a long way, baby, but it's still kind of funny how different it was in not that long of a time. And and what really makes it funny to me is when you think about people that have no concept of anything different than the GPS on their phone. I mean, you talked about a Garmin. That was a big deal. That was a Christmas present I got one year from my office, and you plugged it in and you had to update it every year. But it was basically what you have on your phone now, but it was a little,
It was not basically what we have on our phones now. It was significantly less substantial.
well, yeah, but it still told you how to go. You
But it
got
didn't tell
directions
you
from it.
the real-time traffic, and it didn't tell you the speed limit, and it didn't give you
No,
alternative routes.
Yeah, but we don't know
no.
nothing about horse and buggy either.
I
True.
do too. I've been in Central Park. I know about horse and buggies.
Okay, so you know it as a novelty, not as your daily drive.
True. I
It's
mean,
not
I've
your
been to
commuter.
Pennsylvania too, where they have horse and buggies.
Did you use it to get everywhere you were going in Pennsylvania while you were there?
No, we pretty much just drove past them and waved.
Can you
I mean,
You
imagine a
know it
horse
y'all.
as
and
a
buggy
novelty.
traversing, like, down the street in front of a Starbucks or an Apple store? That
Probably.
would be a funny juxtaposition.
Yeah. I mean, there's a convenience there, but there's also the reliance that's there. And it's not Gen Z. That's not unique. All of us do that. I mean, Cal, I've been riding with you and it kind of tickles me that you have a map going regardless of where you are. If you've been there before, or in fact, Monday night we were going somewhere and it gave us different directions than what we normally take. And we were both like, why is it taking us that way? We've never been that way. What goes that way? And we
Because
had
it
to,
has so much more information that we cannot access in real time. I can't go and look and say, oh, what's the traffic on all 5 of the potential routes? But Google can.
yeah,
And I have that map going because, again, I'm inputting all of that data. Where does that road go? I don't know. Let's go see. This is where it says it goes. Can I use this in the future? And how often, as we're driving around, do I zoom out to look at the big picture to see the whole thing?
yeah.
Because I'm adding all of my reference points. Callie, the map cyborg.
There was no zooming with it.
Sure there
No, but
was.
I
It's
would
called a
keep it
magnifying glass.
unfolded.
Yeah, you could fold it in certain ways so that, where
I'm
Yeah.
you wanted.
pretty sure Papa drove around with maps and magnifying glasses so he could read the maps.
Oh, yeah.
That would not surprise me whatsoever.
A more traditional zoom.
Yeah. But I do remember, I mean,
That's what the
pre-map,
zoom
what
button
was
is
it
based
called?
on.
Yeah.
What was the book called? Because Dad used that all the time. It was a book, and it was sections. Instead of the great big map, it was a book, and you could turn the map. Wow, I can't remember what it was called, but it gave you numbers and letters. If you
Because
wanted
it
to
was
know where,
quadrants. I'm
yes,
going
if
to
you wanted
zoom
to,
in to quadrant
Sectors.
A4. Here's the
yeah.
A4 quadrant sector.
And where you printed off MapQuest directions, he would copy that page out of that book that would tell him. But everybody had them because that's how you got around. I mean, and so here was one for Dallas and the Metroplex. And if you wanted one for Oklahoma City, you had to go buy one for Oklahoma City. I mean, we've all changed. There've been improvements.
I go
We'll
back to
take
the
this one.
efficiency of it all.
Yeah,
Like, we are wasting less paper, less resources, less time. Everything becomes so instantaneous on your phone. It's interesting.
it is. It's kind of funny. Okay. How many phone numbers do you know off the top of your head?
Dozens. I can tell you our old home phone number. That
I
for
can
a
tell you
house that we haven't lived in, no one has
20
lived
years.
in or had that phone number in 20 years.
Yeah.
No problem. In fact,
I can.
I still go to, like, CVS or something, and I still use that phone number because that's where all the rewards are. Whoever has it, thank you very much for allowing me to use it.
I wonder if somebody does have it.
I don't know, we should call it.
We should call that number and see who answers.
"Hey,
Hey,
we
this
used
is
to
my
have
old
this
phone
phone
number."
number. Do you mind
Be
if
I
we
like,
come
mean,
yeah,
inside?"
and you don't anymore. Why are you calling me?
y'all,
Your
I'm gonna
call
have to
cannot
call
be
that
completed
number.
as dialed.
I'm gonna use Callie's phone and call that number. But I'm really serious. I mean, like, I know both of your numbers.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have to look those up. I know them. I know Dad's number. Callie, I know the number that I grew up with too, so I get more credit because that's been a longer time that I still know what
Oh,
that
yeah,
phone number was.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
So
I'm not telling you.
your phone number has been the same forever. My phone
30.
number has been the same forever. Callie's phone number has been the same forever. But a lot of my friends change carriers regularly. They
Because
get
you
new
used to
phone
couldn't
numbers.
transfer your number.
Yeah. So that's a lot less common. And the not remembering phone numbers, again, not a Gen Z thing. That started
No,
with us.
no. I think your dad would agree with that, that there are numbers that he doesn't have. In fact, we were talking about this earlier today, and it was really funny because we would go,
What's
somebody
so and
asked
so's
me what
number?
his work number used to be. And I thought, and I was so surprised that I got it right, that I did remember that one. But I mean,
Like I'll probably have to
there's a
try a
lot of
couple times, but
numbers.
I could get Shauna's. I
Yeah.
may be able to get
I don't know if I could.
Dad's. I know I can get the two of yours. I know mine. Again, it'll probably take me 2 tries, but I could probably get RT's. But their number is like 2 digits off from mine.
Yeah.
Do you know Nathan's?
I've never had to punch in Nathan's phone number after the first time I saved it to my phone 20 something years
Yeah.
ago.
I
Yeah.
mean, but also think about it. At what age did you get your phone?
I think I got my first one in 8th grade, so
So you're
13, 14.
13, 14, yeah. So I'm thinking about Gen Z today who never went without one. There was always a repository
Mhm.
for all of that data and information. They never had to say, shoot, what's my home phone number again?
Well, I mean,
It
and
Because
let's
it's
be
makes
all
me
honest,
there.
wonder.
when we were kids, the school had it on file. It's not like you couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Here's the question, and I think both of you did this. One of the first things that I remember being taught at school was to know your home phone number so that you could, if you
Most people
needed
don't
it.
even have home phones anymore.
No.
Well, this is true too, but which makes it harder. I mean, I had one number to learn. If I'm a kid today, I've got to know my moms and my dads and my stepdads and my stepmoms and my brother, my half brother. And so whose number would you learn?
Just your
All of
mom's.
whom are
Duh.
changing just because the carrier changes because they've
Well,
moved
that could
on
be
to
true
a
too.
different I mean, like, it's constant data inputs and data dumps that nobody can keep up with all of that.
Okay, I'm going to confess something. Y'all are going to laugh at me.
Ready?
Probably.
Do you take numbers out of your phone?
No.
No.
See, I have a dead list.
Like
People,
actual dead
Why?
people who died.
because you
You
don't
think they're
take them
gonna
out of your
call?
phone. No, but I don't take them out of my phone.
Nobody
So
does.
I
And
don't
here's
take
the
them out.
deal. if I've got that number, most likely I've got, oh, this is their husband's name and this is their children's name and this was their date of birth and this is where they lived. So,
Not a chance.
uh,
You're lucky if I even have your first and last name.
Yeah.
I have everything in there that I know about you. If you look at my friend
Creepy.
Gail's, I have her parents' address in there and information about them. I
So
mean,
you're just as guilty of using your phone for identity storage as Gen Z.
I am. Who knew?
I think
Until
it's so
a
funny.
couple of years ago. So, I mean, I'm talking middle of high school. I got a phone from my friend that used to be his phone. So I had all of my contacts that were saved to my SIM card and all of his contacts that were saved because back in the day, you would save it to the SIM card and to the device. So
Yeah.
it joined some of those numbers and it didn't join several others. So his mom was under mom and my mom was under mom. So again, until like 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be driving and I'd say, "Hey, phone, call mom," and I'd get Laura.
Somebody. So it's so funny that you say that because our mom, who's sitting here on this, is saved in my phone because I don't just have mom. I have JQ's mom or Garza's mom. And that's what they're saved because I don't ever change anybody's name. Jess, if you're listening, you are still saved in my phone as Jess, Trey's girlfriend. That's just nothing ever changes. But
She's under
I
her
had
maiden name for me.
I had all of these people who I had their mom's phone number. And so it was so-and-so's mom. And some of them had their name. Some of them did not. It's not always Rhonda, Haley's mom. Sometimes it's just Haley's mom. So still to this day, if I am trying to get my phone, my voice to recognize who I want to call, it's saved as my mom. And so it will say, hey, you got a text message from my mom. And hey, I'm calling my mom
Mine is number
because
one.
I wanted it to be
ICE,
clear. It
mom.
said, which one do you want? And I was like, my mom. And it was like, okay.
What did you say, Cole?
Mine is one ICE mom. So you're the top of my phone book.
I'm so touched.
You're also my in case of emergency. Now, I mean, it's not for you. It's because if someone finds me in a ditch somewhere, it's going to be easy to contact my next of kin.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
So moving on from digital Rolodexes, if you will, moving
I'm so
on
glad
to,
you used that term. I was going to ask you if y'all knew what a Rolodex was.
Yes.
of course.
Okay. Have
In
you
fact,
ever had
I
one?
looked it up on Amazon the other day and I was like, I need a Rolodex. I wonder if they have them on Amazon still. Because
I have a Rolodex. It's called my phone.
I use
Why would you
business
want one?
cards. I'm in sales. I don't want everybody in my phone because as we just discussed, they're going to stay there until my phone and I die. They'll still stay in yours
My
even
phone,
after death.
my phone guy from 20 years ago is still in my phone. And every time I see his name, I think, I like him. I miss him. I wonder if
Your
what he's
phone
doing now.
guy?
Yeah, when I was in charge of getting everybody mobile phones at the office,
Uh,
we had a corporate account. And so I would call
Yeah.
my phone
Back
guy
when
and
you
say,
had that
hey,
one flip phone that had Snake on it and it had like a replaceable shell.
Yeah.
that was Blackberries and everything, you
That
guys.
was not a
That was
BlackBerry. That was
Nokias.
pre-BlackBerry. It was a flip phone.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it's still
Okay.
around here somewhere.
I
Where were
think
you
that's so
going after
funny.
I interrupted about Rolodexes?
So one of the things that I thought was so interesting, I have a couple of friends who are Gen Z and if you were born in 2000 or beyond, like 2000 forward, they don't teach cursive in school anymore.
Why?
They teach them
We've
to
had this
sign their
conversation before.
names.
Why? Everything is DocuSign. It's all digital.
Do you remember letters? Like I saw somebody the other day, they had taken their mom's handwriting and put it a tattoo. as a tattoo of, like, something to remember their mom by, and I was like, "Oh, if we do everything
I actually
DocuSign,
like
I'm
that.
not putting my mom's DocuSign shit on me, like, there's no way. We're
Okay,
losing an art form."
your dad, who is definitely not Gen Z, didn't write in cursive. The only thing that he did in cursive was his name, but he printed everything, generally
Mhm,
all in cap letters.
mhm.
Same.
He was more legible that way.
Same.
Yours has never been legible, Cole. Yours has never been legible. Do you
No,
remember that
Cole,
time
yours
you
is
were trying to imitate
Hey,
mom's
can I
signature?
can I tell you a secret? Mom's isn't legible to anyone but you two and dad.
that
So
is
that's 3 out
not
of 4.
true.
Yeah.
Ancients 3 out of 8 billion.
That
Okay,
is
hold on.
so
If
not
there was
true.
a contest and we took a poll as to the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog via Cole's handwriting and via mom's handwriting, yours is going to lose, Buddha.
Okay,
It ain't gonna come out on top here.
I'll take you up on that bet.
Okay. I've got an office full of people tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll write it. We'll get off of here. We'll write it. I guarantee you they can read mine. A, because they're older. You don't have any Gen Zers in your office, do you?
Mhm.
Oh, you do? Oh, this will be interesting then. This will
Oh,
be
yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should
The
write
other thing
different sentences, to be perfectly honest with you. And you have to show them mom's
Okay.
first.
deal. On a scale of 1 to 10, how legible is this? That's what I'll say. And we'll do a whole scorecard, just like the Olympics of handwriting.
I'm winning, bud.
Okay.
Just saying.
So the other funny thing is in written quote unquote communication or digital communication, Gen Z's getting a bunch of flack about their email tone. How, I mean, we've talked about it generally before about how it's really hard to get tone and inflection via a text message, right?
Well,
And
especially when
via
you're like
digital
writing
communication.
professionally, like when you're, and I don't mean that as like being an author. I mean like writing an email to your boss or
Yeah.
to another colleague.
Yeah. Gen Z is getting so much slack about it either sounds super, super buttoned up and professional, like a legal document, or like they're texting their buddy and there's no in between.
Because they don't use punctuation.
Or capital letters. It's really weird.
Now, I
I
mean,
had music going today and the song titles were all in lowercase letters. And I was like, this is strange. This is a stylistic choice that I do not understand. Why? Why
that's
does
funny.
anybody care?
That's funny. Now, of course,
Why do you?
we're going to use AI to write our emails. I'm waiting for the time, and I don't think it's very far off that I'm going to sit here in my Outlook and I'm going to type my little message, and there's going to be a button that says, "Hey, Copilot, rewrite this for me."
It's
I'm not
already
even
There
going to
integrated.
have
already
to
is.
go out to something else. It's going to be right there.
It's already integrated.
Yeah, it already is.
You're missing it. Yep. I mean, but that's the whole thing. Kind of carrying us forward still. I think that we have become so reliant on digital media, on technology. I mean, what happens when the Wi-Fi goes out? What would it look like if there was no Wi-Fi in the whole country for a week? I
Everything
mean,
would be on
Gen
fire.
Z
Some
can't even
people
get
would
on the
starve.
internet.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about Wi-Fi, not even no internet, just Wi-Fi. This is their only computer that they have, unless they're
I don't think
gamers.
that would be, I, if you give them their phone, I don't think that's going to be as big of a deal.
No, but their phone doesn't have data. They can't get on the internet on their phone because Wi-Fi is gone.
It's a brick, and Snake is not on phones anymore.
I mean, are you talking about like mobile data is gone as well, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So the internet is gone for a week.
I mean, if you have a wired connection, you can get on the internet. Can you imagine how flooded libraries would they even know to go to libraries?
Well, I mean, I think that's what we saw with COVID when kids were trying to figure out. I mean, people were pulling laptops out so that their kid could go to school during COVID. I can't imagine what people would do today if their phones went away. I mean, think about it. That's your banking, that's your communication with somebody else, that's your GPS, that's your calendar. I mean, if
Your
you
watch,
if you
your
just
alarm clock.
yes, if you took that away, I just feel like everything would come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
I don't mean this mean, but there's a group of people who wouldn't even know how to function without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
How do
here's the
you
thing.
think you would fare?
I know a little bit about a lot of stuff, but the world came to a screeching halt tomorrow. I'm in trouble if I'm by myself. Let's be honest, all of us are.
That's what I'm asking. Like, how would you fare?
I mean,
Mom
I
has a
guess it
wall of
kind of
books.
depends.
She'll be fine.
Like, am I here? Am I at
I'd
my
have to
house?
read a real book, turn
So
the
Gen
pages.
Z, your Gen Z is showing.
And because that's a funny thing. When Kindles first came out, I didn't want one because I thought this is
Okay, boomer.
this is hard. I'd just rather have the book. It smells good and you can feel the pages and you can see how far you've read. And today some friends gave me a hard copy book and I thought, I don't even know how to read this because you can't read it at night, which is where I read because, I've got a backlight on that. And so it is so much harder. And just because I know where I came from and where I'm at, it's so much harder to read a hard copy book today because I'm so Kindle
Literate.
centric. Yeah.
When Kindle first became a thing, it was cheaper to buy the hard copy and get the audiobook and the Kindle version bundled with it than it
Yeah.
was to get the Audible and Kindle version.
Hmm.
So I have several hardcover sleeved novels that I've never opened, that I've read multiple times.
And think about this. That means if all of your books are on Kindle, there's no library.
That's what I was saying about music. It doesn't exist for so many of them. And that's not
Yeah.
even just Gen Z, but people in general. We have become so reliant on having digital cloud versions that live somewhere out in the ether, not with us.
And I mean, assuming everything is okay, that's fine. But what happens when everything isn't okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're all screwed anyways. I think, oh my God, I don't have an iPod is going to be, now I sound like the boomer. Oh my gosh, I don't have my Spotify. I don't have my Pandora. It's going to be the least of our problems. But I get what you're saying.
I just think it's going to be really quiet.
You can make your own music.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting to think, would we revert? I mean, would we pick up a book and write a letter and make a phone? Well, you can't even make a phone call because, like you said, Cole, most people don't have home phones anymore. So
Relying
I
on
mean,
wireless technology. Yeah.
it's a really interesting thought.
I'm even sitting here thinking one of the things that came up in our research for this episode was that Gen Z doesn't know how to cook. They only know how to assemble meals because they're watching videos on TikTok or wherever on Instagram saying, okay, then you add 1 pound of chicken. Okay, now you add chicken broth. Okay, now you boil it for 47 minutes. And they don't know how to put things together. If I put pasta in the water, I could just have pasta. I don't have to make a whole viral sensation pasta bake.
Again,
Like,
I don't think that's unique to Gen Z because most of the people that I know don't know how to cook.
I think that I think that it is more consistent in Gen Z and the tail end of millennials because of the access to social media and because of the reliance on that being the methodology by which so many of them have learned how to cook. Whereas, I mean, I remember going through books, paper recipes. Mom has made recipe books and cookbooks and things like that. We have several people in our family who have made, "Hey, this is my recipe, my version of X. I'm going to pass it down and share this with you," and that is important. It's not just, "Here's a link to a video of somebody else making it, go do it yourself." Like, I just think that it's a different mentality.
You just stop and think about that. I've had that lasagna recipe since I was in probably middle school. That's our favorite recipe. And can you imagine keeping something on your phone or finding it in the cloud that many years later?
Well, yes, I could do that right now because I've saved the photo where you sent me a picture of it, and I can just type lasagna and it will pull it right up.
But it hadn't been 50 years either.
No, but it's been a solid 15.
You think it's been that long? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting because I just think I grew up learning how to cook, from my grandmother.
I mean, everything comes in a wrapper with instructions on it or is frozen, or you get it
Yeah.
shipped by the case to your house. All you have to do is add hot water.
Yeah. Or you call somebody to deliver it. I
And you
mean,
finance your Taco Bell. God. Oh,
What?
yeah, no, that's the thing. People are financing fast food.
I gotta go.
Like, what is even happening? Oh my God.
It's not just Gen Z, I'm telling you.
It's not just Gen Z. I mean, I know that they're getting the rap for some of this, but it isn't only unique to them.
I mean, is that a lack of financial literacy, no matter the generation?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, definitely. And it may not even be a lack of financial literacy. It may be a combination of a lack of financial literacy and a lack of financial resources,
I mean,
but
but you're still paying for that.
you're paying more for it,
That's my point.
just less upfront. But again, it goes back to the boots example that we've talked about in the past. It's more expensive to be poor than it is to be wealthy.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That's true. That's true.
Let's flip the script here a little bit. What does Gen Z get right?
Oh. I
I
mean,
think
obviously, they're more technologically advanced. It's easy for them.
I think that that will continue to proliferate with every new generation. They're going to
Until we're
get better and more
cyborgs.
comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
until we are the technology. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's adjusted so much. I mean, even as simple as a new
iOS.
iOS system, it just wouldn't come out. Even if there's a new iOS system that makes me go crazy because it's moved this from the top to the bottom. I think that generation is so used to that they don't
More
even
adaptable.
fumble.
It
Yeah.
annoys me, but I can pick it up in a day.
Yeah.
I'm still mad
I
about
don't.
the Apple Photos changes in the last several iterations of iOS, and I'm gonna keep talking about it until it is fixed and it doesn't suck anymore.
This one's for you, mom. Okay, boomer.
I can't remember who the new incoming CEO of Apple is, but whatever his name is, fix this. Get on it. Stay off my
Don't
lawn.
worry about AI. We want the photos fixed.
No, no, we're about AI too.
Oh,
You
okay.
got a couple people. Deploy some teams. They'll be fine. I also think, Cole, going back to your kind of original question in this, I think that, and I hate to put this as a positive, I think that Gen Z especially has become very, very good at marketing themselves
I was just about to
very
say, I think they're better at
quickly.
networking.
Oh, I don't think they're better at
Well,
networking.
why do you think well, both
What's the
your
difference between
points.
networking and marketing yourself?
I think networking is a two-way conversation and relationship of some kind. Oh, hey, I know somebody in that industry. I can call them versus they know of me. You don't know that they know of you.
So why do you think they're better at marketing themselves?
because everything is online. You have to have something to show for who you are. Everything is put out there, and that's how our especially their world kind of revolves. You have to make a name for yourself, and you have to be a brand that
So
people
what
can
if you're
get on
not?
board with.
What if you don't have that?
I think you get lost. I think that we're watching that happen in real time with the especially the male loneliness epidemic. Nobody knows me,
Oh.
and I don't know how to explain myself to them, so I'm just gonna sit here in my mom's basement by myself for the rest of my life.
Well, that kind of brings me to, is it just an influencer persona, or is it their real persona that
I think that
that you get to
varies
see?
pretty widely from person to person.
I would agree. I would
Interesting.
agree.
I also don't follow a lot of Gen Z internet personas, so that could
Yeah.
just be pulling that out of nothing. But
What about multitasking? I mean, we all hear that you're not supposed to multitask. You need to focus on one thing, but that's a generation that's never
never
had that.
half-ass two things when you can whole-ass one thing.
But do you think
I
that's what they do?
I think that we are further emphasizing hustle culture. You always have to be
Mm,
going and doing and faster and better and stronger and smarter and more efficient all of the time. Like, I find myself you know how when you're on Instagram Reels or TikTok or whatever, and you can hold the screen down to make it go twice as fast to watch a video?
Didn't
I
know
find
that, no.
myself I find myself doing that in other aspects of life. Okay, I like this song and I wanna hear it, so I don't wanna skip it, but let me just fast forward, like, make it go faster really quick, and it's
No.
irritating to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's super weird, but I find myself doing the same thing. Okay, these lyrics are not going fast enough. Move faster. Hold it down. Oh, it doesn't work here. A YouTube video, I want to change the playback speed so that I can get through it faster. And it's irritating to me. I am irritating to myself in these instances. I'm like, You're not in a hurry. Why are you rushing all of this? Be still, be here.
Till life's no
If
fun.
I
All you
mean,
gotta do is live and die.
he's just
you're
full of
an
quotes
idiot.
today.
Song lyrics.
You know, it's really interesting your mention there on hustle culture because, like, I just Googled Gen Z statistics, and one of the ones that I noticed is like mental health is very important to them. 92% of Gen Z graduates want to discuss mental health at work. If that's the case, why are you so entrenched in hustle culture? Relax.
I think, and we've talked about this before on our, I want to say our Blame Millennials episode, but I'm going to kind of give a little bit of that credit to millennials. We came out and said, "Hey, we're not just shoving everything under the rug, sweeping it under the rug and cowboying up. We're going to talk about this. We're going to go to therapy. We're going to have these hard conversations because we watched what it did to our parents and our other people in our periphery, and I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to be that. I would like to find a solution rather than just move on and hope that it goes away." And so I think that I credit millennials for starting that. I think Gen Z has taken and run with it. And Cole, I think in that episode, you even talked about how you feel like they have taken, they, people, not they, Gen Z specifically, have taken it too far. We've gotten everything has become so emotional and so emotionally charged all of the time, which I don't think is unfair. And so I think that, again, it's that pendulum. I think that we need to draw some of that back. There are feelings and emotions that you can have that you don't have to share with the world, with your however many followers, with every single person that you come to at work or on the street, with your Starbucks barista or your independent coffee shop barista, whoever you may choose to go to. And I think that we as a society need to be more precious with our own privacy. And I think AI is a big part of that. We're putting all of this out there. I was just talking to somebody today. We have chosen convenience over any type of privacy or security, and I think that it shows.
I think
Well, that
there's
brings
more
me to
to it
this.
than that even. I think people need to recognize that just because you feel an emotion doesn't mean that it's right or that you have to act on it.
I agree.
That anybody else cares. Yeah. I was going to say, I think that because you are so connected to your phone that you don't ever get off. You work 24/7. You're
Constantly
you're
available.
you're available 24/7 for work, and I think that's going to get old really fast.
I think you're more guilty of that than I am personally.
Yeah, I think there've
And
been some
maybe
times in
I'm
my life.
lucky and work in an industry and for a company that is pretty strict about that. I don't get calls outside of work hours.
No, you really don't, but I think you're an outlier on that.
I think that your
I
job
think
is an outlier on that.
And that may be
And I think that
fair.
your job is an outlier on that due to the redundancies that are built in place naturally, but that is not the case for everyone all of the time.
yeah.
That's reasonable, but I know people who work in industries that I used to work in that we'll be sitting there talking to each other. They'll get a call from work and they'll say, "I'm not at work right now." Voicemail.
Good. I
Yeah, and
I
I
think that's a
think that
positive thing.
I agree.
yeah, I think that that goes back to that enforcing your personal boundaries to
Mhm.
maintain your work-life balance that sorry mom, but baby boomers really sucked at.
So you think that even though you've got your phone in your hand 24/7, that you've drawn the boundary? You think the boundaries are better and that you're not as reachable?
When it comes to my relationship with work, yes.
Yes.
Mm,
My phone has
interesting.
very little to do with my job. Very little. Like I hit a button
Yeah.
on it that says, "Yes, it's me" when I'm logging in. It's an ID verification tool more than it is a communication device with my employer.
Yeah. And I will say mine used to be I felt like a direct connection to my employer, and it hasn't been in a couple of years. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Now,
Mm.
I've also worked a job where I was on call, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But it was also a job that was a little bit of an outlier because we were 8 days on, 7 days off. If you
Yeah.
call me on those 8 days off, good luck.
I think that that
Speaking
puts
of
us in the
phone calls,
process. Call your
I
mom.
you've you've mentioned this before, Cole, that you have people who don't make phone calls. They don't
Oh,
answer them, they don't make them. They're gonna text.
they don't know what to
And
say.
is that a Gen Z thing?
No. Most of the people that I know that are bad about it are elder millennial. I call them on the phone just to make them uncomfortable.
You're such a
Like,
brat.
like they literally put it in their voicemail box. Hey, if I don't answer, it's just text me. And I'm like, no. And I'll just keep calling until they answer.
You're such a shit.
Yeah. Pick up the phone. I need a 10-second conversation with you. I don't want to wait 45 minutes for you to text me back. I need an answer right now. Answer the question, and we'll go on about our days.
I
I have
can't
found
imagine not having phone calls.
I have found that kind of a weird less than happy medium here. When I'm sending a voice memo in lieu of a phone call or a text message, I ramble, whereas a text message I can edit
Oh, I
and
ramble in
pare
text
down.
messages too. And if I have to go through and I start rambling in a text message and I need to edit, I'm just going to delete the whole thing and not send it and call you. I don't have time to
Yeah,
sit here on my phone for half an hour while I try and make this perfect text message.
I don't take that long, but I think that's because I'm practiced at doing it. Oh, shoot, I just spelled that wrong. Oh, let me fix this. Oh,
Hmm.
this is superfluous details that nobody cares about, Kelly. Delete that. And then you send it. Whereas on a voice memo, okay, so I wanted to talk to you about that. Did I go there? Did I already say this to you or not? Or oh shoot, I don't remember where I was going with this. But so just really quick, it is completely, completely fruitful.
So you would go to a text message instead of the voice prompt?
Instead of a voice memo, yes. A phone call is fine because I can do that processing in real time. But for whatever reason, because I'm doing it with you versus by myself, not knowing where I went or
People that send voice messages like through text back and forth to each other, it drives me nuts.
I
agreed.
was just fixing to ask you if you would ever do that
I
because
know
I
a
don't think
lot
I've
of
ever
people
gotten
who
them.
do it, and it just call them.
I mean,
Oddly enough, I don't feel the same way about Marco Polo when we're sending messages back and forth on Marco Polo. Like, if it's a video, fine. But for whatever reason, a voice memo, I just
But we're not
get all
having
tangled up in
conversations
myself.
really through Marco Polo very often.
okay, so are you ready for a weird thought?
Yep.
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay, so I saw this story on Instagram. I don't have any idea if it's really an actual factual story. I know Callie and I both cried
No,
through
no,
it.
no, tell the story. Tell it.
Well, I'm sort of going to because it stuck with me. I said it was about a guy who was working at a grocery store late at night,
Marcus.
a market, and people were
Marcus
coming.
was his
His
name.
name was
Marcus.
Marcus.
His name was Marcus. Gosh, do you want to tell the story?
No, please go ahead.
We
Okay,
asked him to, and
shut
he
up.
said no.
That's right. Okay, so this guy, Marcus, was working overnight at a store, and this guy came
Or coffee
in.
shop.
My gosh,
She's going to delegate this to you, and you're going to have to tell the whole story.
it's
And she's
true.
still going to cry through it.
Nope. I've done it twice now without crying. Anyway, shut up, Cole. He was working late at night at a store and he started through a series of events. He started writing notes on the back of the receipts that he was handing people. There was a woman that came in to buy cat food at 3:00 in the morning, or there was a girl that came in and never spoke to anybody because she had earbuds in. And then there was this man who walked in and looked at his receipt and he said, could could you just write something on this to prove that I was here and that I talked to another human being? And the guy was kind of like, okay. So he wrote, have a good day, Marcus. And the guy said, I haven't talked to anybody in 6 days. And Marcus got to thinking about this and what that would mean. And so he started handing them out to all of his customers. He would write a note on the receipt and people started kind of, the part that made us cry is that the woman that came in at 3:00 in the morning realized that he was writing them and showed him a picture of all of the messages that he had written her that she'd put up on her refrigerator to remind her. She was going through a tough divorce and
Was
she
lonely.
wasn't, I mean, she needed some encouragement. And Marcus's words on the back of a receipt were all that she was getting. She just, I mean, it meant something to her. And so here's the weird thought. Could something as simple as a few words from a stranger actually change somebody's day or even their life? And more than that, are people who feel invisible and lonely and disconnected more reachable than we think just by a simple act of humanity or kindness?
The
I mean,
story
Cole,
goes
I
on
know you
to
made fun of us about this story, but it was
moving.
moving. If simple
It's a sweet
words like,
story,
you
but it's a
matter,
story. It's emotional manipulation. It is.
but to what
Point.
gain, though?
Regardless,
If you don't know what the product is, you are the product.
if I lie to you, but it's for good, is it not a lie?
Still a lie. Yeah. I
I understand that
think
it's sweet and it has a good concept. It just doesn't pass the sniff test for me.
cynic.
Sure.
It doesn't even make you feel like you need to try to be more human.
I am plenty human enough. Trust me.
I thought it was an interesting, weird thought, despite what Cole has to think about it.
I also think that you could take it just a little bit further, and we've mentioned this before, like, if you think of something positive or you have a positive thought that crosses your mind about someone else, like, what's the harm in sharing it with them? "I
Yeah.
really like your dress. I think you look beautiful with your haircut." And you don't have to make it weird, and you don't have to be awkward, but at the same time, I think that those words of encouragement, what is it? Nobody's gonna remember everything that you said, but they're always gonna remember how you made them feel. Like, the girl with all of them on her refrigerator, she can't recite every single one of them to you, I'm sure, but it made an impact on her that she all of a sudden didn't feel so alone,
Yeah.
and I think that there's
Fill the
power in
void.
that. Yeah,
I went I
yeah.
went to a funeral this morning, so I was dressed in my black and dressed up, which is a little unusual these days that, I didn't have leggings and work from home clothes on. And as I walked out of a restaurant today, a woman did that to me. And all she said to me was, "You look pretty." She didn't know I'd been to a funeral. And all of a sudden, it just changed the impact of my day. It was good.
Yeah. I got a good news story for us.
Okay, give us.
So, give me just a second, and then I will get to the good because it starts off with some not so good. So there was in Oklahoma an ex-graduated student who walked into his high school with a gun. And upon him entering, the principal, Kirk Moore at Pauls Valley High School in Oklahoma, the principal stepped into a moment that nobody wants to face. When this armed kid showed up on campus, Kirk didn't wait. He charged him and essentially tackled him, bear hugged him, and he was shot in the leg in the process, but managed to disarm this guy before the situation could escalate and turn into something far worse. And because of his actions, no one was killed. And he was okay. Like I said, he was shot in the leg and he was okay and is fine now, but he saved a bunch of people a lot of trauma and heartache and some lives, I'm sure. And so then a few weeks later, prom season comes a knocking, and all of the students that he had protected decided to honor him in the most high school way possible. They voted for their principal to be prom king. So you have this moment of pure crisis, adrenaline and fear, life or death decisions, and then you move into a decorated gym and probably some booty rap
Mm.
playing, and a crowd of teenagers cheering on their high school principal as they crown this man who literally took a bullet for them, prom king in high school. And I
If
just
you
thought
have
it
not
was
seen the video of the tackle, it's pretty amazing.
he does not hesitate. He is
And he's not a
not
young man.
sheepish about it. He runs and grabs this guy
Yeah.
without any
He
hesitation.
basically just sits on him.
Yeah. He can't do anything else, knocks the gun away, somebody else comes and grabs the gun and takes it out,
Mhm.
and he sits on him until the police arrive to come and take him into custody.
Pauls Valley is not a huge community. I mean, or at least it wasn't the last time I was there. So the fact that you've got a high school shooter in there in the first place is daunting in itself. But then to see this video and then to that that his students appreciated it and found a way to reward him is really a cool story.
Show him that appreciation.
Yeah, that's fun. I
I
like
also
it.
sit here and think about, like, and maybe I'm weird, but I don't remember who was or wasn't voted prom king and queen in my high school or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that these kids are going to remember who was voted prom
Mm,
king for a really long time,
I think you're
and
right.
I think that that is a real a really cool Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I don't know where they fall in the line at this part because math is hard, but a really cool way to
Mm,
go about thanking him,
cool story.
so Yeah.
I like it.
So hats off to you, Kirk Moore.
Mm.
I hope there are more people out in the world that are exercising their bravery and creating safe spaces for people to exist in.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.